Good evening. Welcome to What's New. We have one guest with us, and we have one of our partners is sick, so it's just ours, Vincent and I here, and we are going to let ours take over and introduce our very special guest.
Okay, tonight we have Robbie Pratt, and he's with,
Center for French Colonial Life,
there you go.
most commonly known as Bull Duke House,
Yeah.
or Bull Duck, depending on
Bull Duck or
where you're
Bull
from, yeah.
I
However
couldn't
you
remember
pronounce
to
it,
say mine,
yeah.
so.
All right, so you can talk about whatever you want to tell us. It's been
Well-
great. I think you got something special coming.
We have a special event on Saturday that I want to talk to you
Good.
about, and then I'll talk to you about a couple other little things that are down the road.
Okay,
But I really want to try to promote Saturday. Saturday is, this is our second time doing this event. It's called St. Genevieve County Day. And the idea is essentially that if you live in the county, you can come down to the Center for French Colonial Life, show us an ID or some kind of proof of residence. I don't care if it's a library card or an insurance card with your address on it or your driver's license. I think most of us have driver's license. It could even be a school card or a work ID or something like that. Show us that and we'll get you a free tour of the Louis Bolduc House. The Louis Bolduc House is this circa 1788 French vertical timber in-frame fill house. And it is the only National Historic Landmark in town. You know, we hear from people a lot in town or in the surrounding area say that they haven't been to the house in quite a while, a few years, maybe decades, maybe they've never been. So we put a lot of time and effort and energy into trying to perfect the tours of the house and the educational content for our historic site. You ladies know I'm here a few times a year with various festivals and events. We put a lot of energy and effort into it, and we want to show it off. And what better way to do that than to have a free day for county residents?
and I think a lot of people really haven't ever saw the house. I didn't see it for many, many
I
years.
think you're right, and you know, I did a quick interview with Don Pritchard earlier this morning. That's going to air tomorrow, and he and I were talking about that a little bit. It's not exclusive to St. Gen. I think a lot of places that have attractions or historical buildings or locations, things of significance, I think that when you grow up around those, you sort of take it for advantage and you're not familiar with it. Maybe you pass by. You know, I think there's a good amount of people that don't necessarily even come to the historic downtown district. You know?
Probably so,
Yeah.
they just shop out.
If you
the
you
grocery
drive your
store,
kids to
whatever.
school, you go to Country Mart, maybe you work outside of city limits, you're certainly not working downtown most likely. And I think a lot of people don't go there and they don't see it, you know, out of sight, out of mind. So,
Right.
you know, we don't want to fault anybody for that, but we do. We're very proud of what we offer as far as tours and historic events and special exhibits and things like that. So we want to show that off to the local residents as well and let them feel a sense of pride for the historical area that we have right here in St.
And
John.
they'll really be surprised at how it looks.
I
know
think so,
I was
yeah.
really impressed when I finally made it in there.
Yeah, well, you know, we heard that a lot, and it's always very flattering. It was a long journey getting it open and renovated and dealing with this and that, but we're very proud of how the center turned out. And you know, we've done archaeology at the Bolduc House, and we found a lot of pieces from day-to-day life, whether it's clothing or gun parts or hair accessories. We found a turtle shell comb. We found broken, you know, china cups and plates and things of that nature. So it's not just teacups. You find all sorts of things because essentially the idea behind archaeology is they obviously at that point in time didn't have off-site trash service. So everyone really just sort of burned everything that was broken or old and they no longer had a use for.
Right.
And so when you do archaeology, you look for a fire pit. We found the fire pit, found all these things. We were then able to take that information and purchase original pieces of the exact same kind of plates and pottery and things of that nature to better stage the house. And did a little bit more research too about the family and what their life was like and incorporated that into the tours. And like I said, we're very proud of that and we want to show that off.
It's been a long time since I've been in there.
Well, I think we know what you're doing Saturday then, right? You're going to come down,
I'll wait
bring your
till I come
library
down.
card. I won't call the librarian and tell him about your past due bills.
Don't.
No, I won't do that. But that does bring to another very exciting point about Saturday too, is we've partnered with the community center and the River Rapids Water Park, and management from both sites is going to be on site at the center on Saturday, and they're going to have a variety of discounted and or free passes to both sites, day passes, season passes. They're going to be giving those out to people as they come in. They're going to be raffling those off, so that's just yet another incentive to come on down Saturday. Additionally, March through, I believe it's September, we offer a free program on Saturdays, Living History at the Lumiere House. And we've got anyone from a militia member to a town habitant to people with special skills and crafts performing living history. They work on their skills and their crafts in the house. It's free to visitors. You can come right on in. That's also going to be going on Saturday as well.
And what time does the education start?
Well, we open up, we're going to be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The tours are, I do have to say, the tours are slightly shortened to try to accommodate for numbers. There's 30, we limit the tours to 30 people per tour, and it is a first come, first served basis, so you can't reserve tickets ahead of time. And the first tour will start at 10:15. We're going to be doing them every half hour or so, and the last tour of that will be 4:15. And for those who are not from the county, who come down, we're also going to be doing our regular hourly tours for them as well.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, so it's going to be a busy day for us.
It will, and that'll be good. On the other Saturdays, what time are the
So the living history programs are from 11 to 3.
11 to 3?
Now additionally on Saturday, because like I said, we're always doing stuff, we just reopened Saturdays through September again, our hands-on history program at the Linden House. And the Linden House is, for those who are somewhat familiar with the area, is the White House right across the street from the Bolduc at 116 South Main. And that is where we used to have our offices and gift shop before we moved into the center. And now we use that as a youth-oriented house, and we open it up to the public on Saturdays. We have special programs on Tuesdays and Fridays, but Saturdays, that's also open to the general public, and it utilizes hands-on games and activities to help augment learning about the historical area to younger audiences. So
And
anyone
that's
from
geared to the younger
yeah, I'd
kids.
say anyone from, you know, in all honesty, there's something to do for people. I know it sounds cheesy, but there really is something for every age there. It could be something as a 5-year-old putting on historical clothing and dressing up, or we turned one of the rooms into a trading post, and you can buy supplies to journey up and down the Mississippi River on it. But there's also a classroom, and there's a craft area, there's a hands-on room specifically that's just like games. And then outside we offer tomahawk throwing for free. So, you know,
That's really popular.
I think if your joints are working, you could be 80 years old and have fun with the tomahawk throwing.
I bet you could. I bet you could.
And that building, again, that's open on Saturdays from 11 to 3. It will also be open this Saturday. There is a fee for that building. It's $2 per person, whether you're young or old or young at heart.
And Saturdays is Saturday at the Bolduc House is from 10 to 5?
It's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And to get tickets to that, you got to go to the Center for French Colonial Life, though. And for those who do not know, that is the old Bank of St. Genevieve building right across the street from Lions Park. We rehabbed that and renovated it, turned it into a exhibits facility, as well as our campus headquarters and gift shop and some offices. And you know, we've got 2 exhibits in there currently. We've got a sort of quote-unquote permanent exhibit that details the colonial period of the Mississippi River Valley. So we talk about the French settling in the area. We talk about St. Genevieve specifically, and how St. Genevieve is different from other French settlements along the river, what separates it out. And it also discusses how St. Genevieve evolved over time, but also still maintained the Creole element at the heart of it. And that's sort of what we call an orientation exhibit there. And there's also a temporary exhibit that'll get taken out pretty soon on hunting, fishing, and harvesting wild food during the colonial period. And there's a lot of really neat artifacts in there. There's a lot of fishing equipment, there's rifles,
Oh my gosh.
there's recipes for different stews and how to cook proper game that you capture. It's got information about hunting methods, it's got all sorts of things.
So there's lots of recipes in there also.
There's some surprisingly gross things. There's some things that don't sound too bad too, so.
I'm not a wildlife eater anymore. We used
Me
to eat it all the
Yeah.
time. It used to be our mainstay, but not anymore.
Not quite as good as some beef from Oberlin, huh?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Never had too much of that live stuff. But your tours will start now, because I have some people that will come from Illinois. We're supposed to come this weekend, but they're not going to be able to make it, so I have some family over there that would like to take tours and, see the old houses and.
Bring them on. You know, we are actually, it's interesting that you say that, because I think a lot of people operate under the notion that we're closed during winter, and we're not. We're open 7 days a week, all year round. Now, there are sometimes certain holidays, Christmas, Easter, things like that, that we are closed. And then there's some smaller holidays where maybe we're open a few hours. 4th of July, I think a lot of times we're open, but we're open till 1. Give our staff a chance to take the rest of the day off and enjoy it
Right.
with their family and friends. But so aside from a handful of days throughout the year, we are, and of course ice, things like that, we're open 7 days a week, all year round.
Yeah, I have some people that want to come over, and they always took, like you said, an impression that it was closed during the winter.
Mhm. Well, and some of them are, and I think there was a time, but it's been a good decade or longer where the Bolduc House was closed during the winter, but we are open year round.
Mm.
Mhm. When are they going to come?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they get well, she's sick right now. I just called over there, and they were supposed to come this weekend, but she's gotten sick, so,
So it'll probably be another 14,
yeah,
15 days.
Mhm.
so,
Well, the other exciting thing that we've got coming down the pipeline is on May 30th, the 2 exhibits that are in the center are going to be completely taken out, and we've got a brand-new exhibit that is going to be coming in. It's called The American Revolutionary War in the West, and I'd say a good 2/3, 70% of it or so, is going to detail the Battle of Fort San Carlos. Now, for those who don't know, the Battle of Fort San Carlos was the Battle of St. Louis, and it happened, there was a fort essentially right where Busch Stadium is, and it was a very important battle. Really, if we're going to boil it down, what was going on was the British was trying to capture the Mississippi River at St. Louis and work its way down for control of the entire Mississippi River, which could have greatly affected the rest of the Revolutionary War. And as Jeff, our executive director, likes to point out, it could be the battle that prevented us from drinking Molson's right now. Speaking
Drinking what?
French. Drinking Molson's. It's a Canadian beer. Or Labatt Blue, whichever your preference is. But we are going to be installing that exhibit, and it's going to be opening up on the 30th of May. And we're going to be having some festivities. There's going to be Drum and Fife Corps from St. Louis is going to be performing at Lions Park. The Lions are partnering with us, and they're going to hold a barbecue at Lions Park that day. We're going to have opening ceremony over at Lions Park. The mayor's going to give a speech, as well as 1 or 2 others, and we'll be opening up the exhibit that day. So we're getting busy again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Well, that's
exhibit's
great
going to be
for the
where?
summer, to have activities every weekend. So
Oh,
when
sure,
people come to St. Genevieve, they've got something to do.
That's right. And that's on the 30th of May. That's sandwiched right in between the Master Gardener's Walk on the 16th and 17th.
Right.
And then the French Heritage Festival on the 13th. So we got a busy few weeks there.
Yeah, and then the art guilds have, suppose,
You guys are going to be opening up the new
on the
building.
2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, of May?
The plans of May.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. Busy. Lot to do around here,
There is. There's
There
a
really
lot to
is.
do in and around St. Genevieve that you got to just pay attention to the paper
Sure.
and to advertisements that you see on Facebook. Because people always talk about everything on Facebook, mostly what's going on.
Right.
And that's a good place. And on our St. John, is it St. John? The Welcome Center, what's their website?
I believe it's visitstgen.org.
Yes, it is. Visit
And
St.
that's
John.
where they can find the activities for everything?
Yes, they have a
Mhm.
list of everything for the whole year, don't they put up?
I believe
mostly?
so, yeah.
But
yeah.
if you
It's, what is the visit?
visit
visitstgen.org. Now, I believe that some of our events are not listed on their activities page, so if you're interested in ours, follow our website, which is frenchcoloniallife.org. Or if you're Facebook savvy and you like Facebook, you can find, we have 2 different pages on there. You can find us under the Center for French Colonial Life and the Bolduc House. Or you can also follow our Hands on History program. I believe that is Hands on History House on Facebook.
So it would be neat if maybe you would post all the sites where they can get in touch with you.
Oh, yeah.
Post it on Facebook and then
Mhm.
people can start sharing it.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we do that. We've got this on here right now. 1.3 thousand people are interested in it.
Well, that's pretty good.
But only 26 say they're going, so I don't know what to make of
Yeah,
it.
that's what, the going is the one
yeah.
you want to.
And then you're not sure if the going are going to actually go or not, or if,
They're planning on
they're just
going, they're
clicking
thinking
buttons.
about going,
Yeah.
yeah.
but we've got a lot to offer that day. I think it's a good time of year to have something like this. People are getting cabin fever and tired of.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, is that on a Saturday or Sunday or?
That is Saturday, this coming
Saturday.
Saturday on the 14th. I almost said 13th.
Yeah, and I think the lawnmower racing starting up again pretty shortly.
I think so, yeah. yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's
That time
gonna
of
be
year.
really a lot of activity in St. John,
Absolutely.
for the month of May, for sure, and,
hmm
yeah.
Some of the other houses are going to start opening up. Hopefully we'll hear some more news about the national park site coming down the road, and they'll be opening up their houses pretty soon. So
No,
It's
what
gonna be a
houses
busy
is on
spring.
that?
currently it is the Beauvais Amaro House, which is on St. Mary's Road, and they also have the Jean Baptiste Valet House, which most know as the old tram house in town, right across the street from the Welcome Center.
Now, what are they gonna have in there, just tours, or are they gonna?
I think
put
they're still
furniture
kind
in, or-
of tweaking their ideas and working
Oh.
around. I think at the very least, I don't want to speak for them because I
Right.
don't know entirely, but I think Chris Collins, the director for the park, I think he's going to try to have the grounds open at the very least and try to maybe even have some interpretive signs talking about the house and the grounds. And I believe they
So
might.
they're gonna keep the gardens going there?
Yes, yeah, and until they have a garden person on staff, I think they're getting some Park Service maintenance and garden workers from the Arch, I think.
Oh, well, that's neat.
Again, I don't want to speak for him, but
Right.
that's what I thought I had heard a week or so ago. And he's going to have some staff coming in as well from the Park Service, so. And I think they were going to try to, don't know if they're going to or not, but I think they were going to try to maybe open up the first floor of the Jean-Baptiste Valet House.
Oh, that would be
for
nice.
some kind of tour too. Again, I'm not sure if it's going to be, if they do it, and B, if they do it, if it's going to be self-guided, or if they'll have, again, interpretive panels that you can
Right.
sort of walk through it on yourself. But they're going to have that open, I believe, to some degree, as well as continue giving tours of the Beauvais Amaro House.
Yeah, and the plein air for the youth will be the 22nd of April,
Mhm.
and also the 6th and the 9th of May, and that's for the whole county. And actually, we had kids from Cape, one of the teachers down there brought a carload up one year, and they even won one of the awards. So there's a chance for every child, and it's fun for them to get out. And we have it at the corner of Gabourey and Main, up in the lot there where they have 360 degrees of historic houses and trees and all kind of
Creek,
things to do.
wildlife, all sorts of things you can
Exactly,
paint,
yeah. very, very nice place for plein air for the
And then
kids.
also very excited about the Art Guild's participation in the French Heritage Festival too.
Right.
The mini plein air event there and
Yeah.
the contest and having French art on display. And
Yeah, that'll be neat too.
yeah, this is my first year in the French Festival Committee. I'm very excited about a lot of the new items that we're adding to it. We're having
Yeah.
2 concerts now from Dennis Stromack. So on top of his evening performance with his trio group, he also has a full 5 or 6 piece person band that's going to be doing Cajun music as well.
Okay, when is that gonna play then?
That's going to be, I think that's more in the noon time to sort of kick off lunch.
Oh,
and-
okay, so they're gonna do like 3 that day. Is that what you mean?
They're going to do he's going to do 2 different sets. He's going to do 2 different bands. He's doing a Cajun, sort of New Orleans style Cajun band
Mhm.
at lunchtime at Lions Park.
Oh, so it'd be 2,
Mhm.
and then the night when it.
Yeah,
that
and
he
then a few
always
hours
does.
later, he will, and I think it's some of the same guys, but he'll play with a upright bass and a guitar player and do his normal
No,
concert in the
like he
evening as
always
well.
does, yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
And are they gonna do the march through town again?
They're going to do the parade. Father Nemeth from the Catholic Parish of St. Genevieve is going to sort of unofficially start the festivities at, I can't remember if it's 9 or 10 a.m. with a Latin Mass. And then he is going to lead the parade and procession down to Main Street Park. Then we'll have the food and the music and the festivities. There's also a really neat addition this year where I think there's 4 historic houses that aren't museums are going to be open and have 1 or 2 times a day where they're doing tours. They're private residences or they're
Oh,
owned by
that's
different
nice.
organizations. We're going to have the Mecker Library, which is owned by the foundation, the old Kiel Schwent building on Gabarine 2nd. There's a Caron House on, I think again, 2nd in between Washington and Jefferson. That's owned by Carl Kinski. That's going to be open. The Antoine O'Neill House, owned by the Presbyterian Church, is going to be open. They're going to do a tour
Now,
of
they
that.
got that, that's all completed now. huh?
That's completed and done, but it is a private, I
Right.
think it's supposed to be sort of administrative and
On what day
and
is
offices
this?
and classroom. That's the French Heritage Festival. It's June 13th.
June 13th.
Yeah.
I gotta tell the kids about this.
You got what?
June 13th, I gotta tell the kids about this.
Oh, yeah. Bring them. Get them down here.
And last year was that the same time they did the chalk in the street at the French?
Yeah, and I
Festival?
think they're doing that again.
Are they?
They're going to have the junior militia doing kids' activities too. They're going to be teaching kids, youth visitors, I guess you could say, how to march and drill. We're also going to have Sandy and Kathy from the Hands On House are going to go down there. I think they might have some animals with them. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing, but they're going to have some games and activities for the students as well.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the kids and adults really like that street art.
Oh yeah,
With a
it's
chalk
fun.
art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was neat.
And there was
Yeah.
some really good ones down there. Yeah.
And there, you know, there's more than just that too, and I think there might even be some more surprises down the road from on the main street.
And everything will be listed so people know where to go and what to do.
Absolutely, there's
Yes.
going to be brochures and maps and
Mhm.
everything telling you where everything is.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
I think so.
So you know, okay, we gotta
You
go
know
here.
where to go
We
and
gotta hurry up and get here.
What time? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what you're not going to miss because you're going to get there on
Exactly,
time.
exactly, yeah. So let's see what else is going on. I was gonna bring the newspaper, see if there was something in there that we missed, but. And the caregivers conference, they were here last week, right?
Yes.
And that is coming up on Saturday, the 14th.
I think.
Yep, I believe it's the 14th. So, that would be this coming Saturday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then, of course, There's always everything to do in St. John. You just gotta
There's something.
look
every
around
weekend.
and find it.
There's a bunch of stuff right at our site.
There is, for
And
sure.
I'll tell you what, I really appreciate you guys having me here, but I am famished and I need lunch, so.
That is
I'm gonna
fine.
I'm gonna recap what we got going on for Saturday, and then if you don't mind, I'm gonna head
Oh,
out.
that's fine.
Okay.
We appreciate you
We've
coming.
got,
in. Okay.
Well, happy to be here. I'm glad you guys are letting me promote ourselves like this. So Saturday, on the 14th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., French Colonial America is presenting the St. Genevieve County Day at the Center for French Colonial Life in Bolduc House. And if you are a county resident, show us an ID at the Center for French Colonial Life, which is located at 198 Market Street, the old Bank of St. John building right across from Lions Park. Show us an ID showing that you live in the county, and we will give you a free tour of the Louis Bolduc House, which is the only National Historic Landmark in town. Even if you don't know or you don't think you know, you've probably seen it. It's very iconic. It's the one that looks like a fort. That's what everybody always says. It's the old vertical log house on Main Street with the giant cedar post stockade around it. So we're going to be doing those tours. They are limited to 30 per tour, and they are first come, first serve. Additionally, we will not allow children under 14 without an adult or a guardian with them. On top of that, we're going to have staff from the Community Center and River Rapids Water Park on site that day at the Center for French Colonial Life. They're going to be handing out and raffling off and drawing out discounted and free passes to both the water park as well as the community center. They're going to have a variety of different passes, whether they're day passes or season passes. On top of that, at our hands-on house on Main Street, we're going to have, that's open from 11 to 3. That's $2 fee per person. That is hands-on activities, games for younger audiences, anywhere from about 4 through the teen years. The tomahawk throwing, there's I think the main theme of the house right now, because it goes through themes every couple of months, is French etiquette. So there's a little tea room set up in one room. They've got a tea party going on that teach the children proper etiquette and manners. There's a classroom, there's a trading post, tomahawk throwing outside, if I don't say that enough. How many times do I got to say tomahawk throwing? Come on down. Crazy Al's Tomahawk Stand. And that's going to be from 11 to 3, again, $2 a person. And if you have more questions about that, you can call the phone number over there. It's 573-880-4123. And then last but not least, on Saturday from, again, 11 to 3 at the Lemierre House, we're going to have a living history demonstration. I believe this week we've got a Hobbiton, and he's going to be talking to people about the town of St. Genevieve, as well as showing off some of his prized possessions. He's got a rifle, and I think he might be working on some of his carved shoes too. He'll be carving his wooden shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what time is that again?
It's also from 11 to 3. That is a free program as well. If anybody has any questions at all, they can call our offices at 573-883-3105. And again, all of that is happening on Saturday, March 14th. The Center and Bolduc House are going to be open from 10 to 5, and the Living History and the Hands-On House is going to be open from 11 to 3. You can follow us on Facebook at the Center for French Colonial Life and the Bolduc House, and you can follow our hands-on history program, our Homeschool Tuesday programs on a separate Facebook page that is the Hands-On History at the Linden House.
So Tuesdays is the day that homeschools are.
Tuesdays is the day right now that we've got the homeschool programs on, and Sandy has done such a fantastic job of that program in the last few years. There is always a waiting list. So we were really excited when we opened up the hands-on house.
great.
We thought, this is a surefire way to get rid of the waiting list. We'll be able to bring people in. We'll do, instead of a new program every week, we'll do the same program. We'll have it multiple days a week, and people can filter in. And I'll tell you what, we still have a waiting list. There's still too many people.
That's wonderful.
So we went from having a program once a month to twice a month to 8 or 9 times and we still have a waiting list.
That
So,
is great.
Oh, my goodness, that's wonderful.
yeah, so
And that's all homeschool kids?
it's
Or-
all homeschool groups, yeah.
Oh,
And then
my
it's
goodness.
also available right now on Fridays as well as an add-on for school groups. It's not open to the public per se, but if
Just
there are school
school.
groups coming to town,
Right.
that's an add-on to that they can use for their
So they can
tour of St.
include that
James
on
Well.
their bus tour. when they come on
Exactly,
the
yeah. So
bus.
when they come to us, when they come to Felix and the Gabord House and Amaro, they can also add on the Hands-On History House as well.
That'll be interesting for them.
Yeah. Well, we've done it. We sort of tested the waters a little bit last year. We were a little skeptical. We weren't sure what to expect, and right out of the gates, she was busy as always. So
Well, that's great.
the school groups seem to love it. The homeschool community seems to love it, and it had a pretty good audience this summer as well with young tourists as well. So we're excited to get that going again.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been waiting this all this time, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. And
You
I'm
know it's
getting-
a success.
Yeah. We're ramping up for another busy season.
Well, hopefully there's a lot of visitors to St. John.
I think
This
so.
summer.
I think so. We got a lot of exciting things going on with all the houses are opening up again. We're doing more programs. The national park site's getting established. The museum learning and education center is going to hopefully open up early to maybe midsummer. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming down the pipeline. Of course, the water park's going to have its first full season. So there's a lot of stuff to do around here.
Yep, there is. St. Genevieve's really got a lot, and it's an interesting town, and very good food for anybody that wants to just come here and eat.
Absolutely. How
All
can you
the
come here and not
restaurants
go
are
to
great.
Oberlin? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, all the restaurants have really good food. Of course,
Absolutely.
we have noted for Overly sausage and
Mhm.
cheese, and
Yeah.
so,
And McDonald's will be open there.
yeah,
for you.
McDonald's will be open again,
Yeah.
June 22nd.
That's right,
Is that when
something
they're
like that.
See
planning?
how they're building out there? My gosh, they're
Going
going
fast.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then we've got two other new restaurants or places coming. One's Shaved Ice,
That's right, Luna's.
and the other one's
and-
going to be sort of
Yeah.
like a fast food that's going to be near the water park. So
Mhm, mhm.
all kind of industry in St. John.
Yeah, it's all starting to, as I said this morning, the dots are there and now they're starting to get connected, so. I
That's
think
great.
This is
It's
exciting
wonderful.
times in St.
And was
John.
it sunny in St. John today? I was in Perryville.
The second half of it was,
Beautiful.
yeah, a
Oh my
little
gosh.
chilly and dreary the first half, but it
Yes.
warmed up pretty quick.
Yeah, it wasn't too
It
bad.
was beautiful. Sunny blue sky.
That's right.
It's what we need. Like they said tomorrow, tornadoes. So,
Yeah, I gotta go to the doctor tomorrow. I hope I get home.
That's for tomorrow, Irish Story.
I know.
I hope I
I don't worry
Yes.
about that.
That's right.
When it's your go time, you're gonna go
C'est la vie.
regardless.
That's right. Yeah.
Just stay safe, yeah.
That's for
So,
sure.
well, we appreciate you coming, Rob.
Well, thank you again for.
And anytime you want to come talk about anything.
Absolutely. I think we're
Okay.
going to try to get Sandy in here next week, and she
Right.
can talk a little bit more about the hands-on house and the programs she offers.
Yeah, that'll be so interesting.
And
I'm so
I'll
sorry.
definitely be coming back for you in April and May and talk to you more about that.
Oh,
new
that's
exhibit
great.
coming up.
Oh, great,
Yeah,
great.
just let us
We're
know
very
which
excited about
week
that.
you want.
Oh, and the even cooler part, we partnered with HCC TV, which is sort of almost a documentary arm of the St. Louis NPR or PBS organization. And we've got a documentary coming out in conjunction with that exhibit about the Battle of St. Louis, about Fort San Carlos. And it's called House of Thunder, because that's what the Indians...
How to Thunder?
House of Thunder.
Oh, House of Thunder.
That's what the Indians called the fort, because it was this
Oh, okay.
giant stone cylinder with cannons on it. They called it House of Thunder.
And when is this coming?
We don't have a release date for it yet, so it's going to be late May, early June, most likely. And if you want to know more about it, you can visit houseofthunder.org. It's really cool. You can go there. It tells you a little bit more about the documentary, and there's a 2-minute trailer for it as well. It's really neat. Been working on it.
And
We're very excited about
What
that.
station is that?
It's going to most likely be on the PBS stations.
PBS.
Mhm.
That's what I thought.
But it could possibly get shopped around to some streaming services as well, and maybe physical DVD copies too.
I've been
Right.
watching, I accidentally hit that station, and I've been watching quite a bit of it.
Mhm.
It's been I've been finding some interesting trophies on there.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Oh, man.
That's right.
Yeah,
Have
we
you
want
guys
to-
had Chris Collins on yet from the,
No, we have
Park
not.
Service?
I thought I would ask him, but he hasn't been here but a couple of weeks, has he? Probably 3 weeks maybe? Or
yeah, a
if
few
that
weeks,
long.
but he's here, he's getting things
So he's all
going. He might
settled
be
in and
interested
everything.
in and.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I'll put a bug in his ear. I'll see him, I think I'm gonna see him tomorrow. I'll put a bug
Okay.
in his ear.
Oh, good.
That'll be fine,
good.
yeah. And he's located at where? does he
his
have an
office
office
is,
here?
yeah, his office is out of the Jean-Baptiste Valet House.
Oh, okay.
And even right now, if he's on site, I think he might still work out of St. Louis 1 or 2 days a week, but if he's on site, he opens up the gates and he leaves the yards and grounds open for people
Oh,
to come in.
okay.
The house is locked up, but people can still
So
come on
we could go
in.
knock on the back door? Is he in that back office or?
I think he might actually work out of the library.
Oh, the
right there at
library,
that
so it'd be
corner.
the front.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I might stop down there next week and ask.
Sure.
And get him on here the 25th too, maybe, and have him and Sandy both talking away.
Absolutely. Got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I know, I know. Everybody that comes on here thinks there's, what am I gonna say, what am I gonna say? And it winds up being almost an hour.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It doesn't take long to get that far. And
No.
even if it's half an hour, it's great.
yeah, absolutely.
Because
It
we can talk from 7 to 8:30.
Yeah,
And if we don't use that time, then they fill it in with something else. So the station's been really good to us.
the time is ours for the taking.
Right, exactly. That's the way it works, yep.
We're grateful for that.
So anyway, I guess if that's all, we've about covered everything.
I think we have.
So good night, Charlie, and everyone out there.
And watch us next time.
Yeah, be on
We
the
always have something
25th.
interesting.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
At St. John.
Always, always, yep.
Well, thank you again for having me.
Well, you are so welcome.
Oh,
I'm
you come
glad.
back.
I'm glad I ran into your American